What's up guys? In a previous video, we took a look at what 600 calories of a specific food looked like, and the results were definitely surprising. So today, we're gonna look at 5 different meals that are each 600 calories and seeing how changing the portions can affect the macros and even the size of the meal. We know when wanting to lose or gain weight, we either need to eat more calories than our caloric maintenance or less than our caloric maintenance. Well, if just wanting to lose or gain weight, yes, but there's definitely more factors to the role macros play. But first, let's take a look at meal number 1, starting off with chicken, rice, and avocado. This meal could potentially be very healthy, and just like all the meals we're gonna take a look at today, is gonna equal around 600 calories. So for meal number 1, our first plate we're looking at now is high in protein, with 7 ounces of chicken breast, 1 ounce of avocado, and 6 ounces of white rice. And the macros add up to be 56 grams of carbs, which is 38% of the calories, 11 grams of fat, accounting for 17% of the calories, and 66 grams of protein, accounting for 45% of the calories, which totals 605 calories. The portions of this meal show a majority of the calories coming from proteins, followed by the carbs, then the fats. As it has a high protein count, perfect for preserving and building protein, and the majority of the calories are dedicated to the protein on this dish. Now let's compare the same meal, but with one that's higher in carbs. This high carb plate has 5 ounces of chicken, 1 ounce of avocado, and 8 ounces of white rice. So it will have 74 grams of carbs, which is 51% of the calories, 9 grams of fat, which is 14% of the calories, and 51 grams of protein, which is 35% of the calories, totaling 595 calories. Every gram of protein or carbs will be equivalent to 4 calories. So the volume of food in this meal would be slightly more than the previous meal due to a slightly lower fat count, and this time has more carbs than protein. This meal can be a great source of energy due to its high carb contents, but still also a great source of protein at 35% of the calories coming from protein, or 51 grams. If you were wanting to lose weight but had trouble with hunger due to the caloric deficit, the macros of this meal or the first meal would be best, as you'd be able to eat more food for the same amount of calories as opposed to this next meal we're about to see. Now this third plate, again just about 600 calories, is high in fat with 2 ounces of chicken breast, 8.5 ounces of avocado, and 3 ounces of white rice. That's gonna total 47 grams of carbs, which is 30% of the total calories, 37 grams of fat, which is 54% of the total calories, and 25 grams of protein, which is 16% of the total calories, being 598 calories total. If you couldn't already tell, just by looking at this meal, if you were to weigh it and compare it to the other two, it'd weigh less while still being equivalent in calories. Every gram of fat is worth 9 calories. That's more than double the calories for every gram of carb or protein. If you were trying to lose weight and needed to cut calories, starting with cutting back on your fats would be a great place to start, as even if you think you don't eat a lot of food, the foods you're eating may be very calorie dense with high fat counts. Let's take a look at all 3 of these plates here. It's really surprising to see that each one is around the same 600 calories. Imagine you have friends over and you're cooking dinner for them and you tell them that each one of these plates are the same. Which one do you think that they're gonna go for? This one or this one? All right, for our second meal, we have mahi-mahi for proteins, quinoa for carbs, and walnuts for fats. Again, our first meal is gonna be high in protein with 7.5 ounces of quinoa, 0.25 ounces of walnuts, and 10 ounces of mahi-mahi. That's gonna work out to being 46 grams of carbs, which is 30% our total calories, 12 grams of fat, which is 18%, and 78 grams of protein, which is 52% our total calories, which is 602 calories total. This is another meal that can be considered healthy, but the macros are what will affect that. This plate is high in protein, moderate in carbs, and lower in fat, meaning if wanting to lose weight and in a caloric deficit, this meal could be perfect for sustaining and even gaining muscle growth, while also providing the fuel you need for your workouts and the fat needed to regulate your hormones and help keep you feeling fit. And now you guys are starting to see a pattern here. The plates that have the highest in protein are most likely going to be the healthiest versions. That's going to ensure that you're providing your muscles enough fuel for muscle growth. And if the majority of your calories are already being taken over by proteins, it's going to be less likely that you're going to overdo it with your fats and your carbs. And in most cases, that's when you can turn a healthy dish unhealthy. Now our next plate is high carbs with 11 ounces of quinoa, 0.25 ounces of walnuts, and this time 6 ounces of mahi-mahi. That's gonna be 67 grams of carbs for 44% of our total calories. Again, 12 grams of fat for 19%, and 55 grams of protein for 37% of our total calories, which is 601 calories for this plate. At 55 grams of protein, this meal is not low in protein at all, but its carb contents are much higher, while the fats have remained the same. Now our third plate, again, is 600 calories, but really high in fat. And this time you'll definitely see a big visual difference. With 2.25 ounces of quinoa, 2.5 ounces of walnuts, and 2 ounces of mahi-mahi. That's gonna be 23 grams of carbs for 15% of the total calories, 48 grams of fat for 68% of the total calories, and 27 grams of protein for 17% of the total calories, which is 601 calories. Visually, this plate looks like a lot less food. And though fats do help you feel full, I think the volume of food after eating this might leave me still wanting more. Now looking at each one of these plates, if I didn't exactly weigh out all the the ingredients and calculate the exact same amount of calories for each plate, I definitely wouldn't think that both of these are the same amount of calories. It's crazy. This clearly looks like way less food, and this clearly looks like double the amount of food. In fact, you can easily double this portion and you would actually just double your calories, even though you feel like you're kind of eating the same amount. And at that point, eating 2 of these is gonna be way more calories, and this is just gonna end up being way healthier, and you still won't match the same amount of protein eating 2 of these. All right, meal 3 is a sandwich made up of whole wheat bread, cheese, and turkey. Our first plate, high in protein, is gonna consist of 2 slices of whole wheat bread, 0.67 ounces of cheese, and 15 ounces of turkey. That's gonna be 43 grams of carbs for 26% of the total calories, 17 grams of fat for 24% of the total calories, and 80 grams of protein for 50% of the total calories, which work out to being 597 calories total. Again, this higher protein portion meal looks like something I'd eat even if I don't often go for sandwiches, and even if all the turkey can't even fit inside the sandwich. But now taking a look at our second plate, which is high in carbs, we have 4 slices of whole wheat bread, 1 ounce of cheese, and 8 ounces of turkey. This works out to being 64 grams of carbs, which is 39% the total calories, 19 grams of fat, which is 26%, and 59 grams of protein, which is 35% of the total calories, which are 598 calories. With this plate, you actually get 2 sandwiches, though you're down on protein in comparison to the last plate. Volume-wise, even though the calories are identical, if I were really hungry but wanted to maintain a calorie deficit, this meal might help me get my protein while also fight my cravings for more food. Now for our third plate that's high in fat, again, we only have 2 slices of whole wheat bread, this time 3.25 ounces of cheese and 3.25 ounces of turkey. That's gonna come out to 33 grams of carbs, which is 21% the total calories, 36 grams of fat, which is 51% the total calories, and 44 grams of protein, which is 28% the total calories, which all add up to 599 calories. Now here, this plate looks similar to the first one with the higher protein count, but when we lift the bread, we can see it's actually thinner and barely has any protein. I don't know about you guys, but I like my sandwiches packed with protein. But looking at all 3 plates together, what do you guys think? For the same calories, which one would you choose? Yeah, just dissecting this real quick, this thing is crazy cheese. This would actually probably be better as like a grilled cheese sandwich or something. Now this is nice because you get 2 sandwiches, and of course, if you really wanted to stay lean and get packed and slam in that protein, this is gonna be the go-to. All right, getting into meal number 4, we have tip sirloin steak, potatoes, and sour cream. This is gonna be the high protein plate. Now that's a big piece of steak. That's what I like to see. For our high protein plate, we have 1.67 ounces of sour cream, 8 ounces of potato, and 7 ounces of steak. That's gonna work out to being 49 grams of carbs, which is 34% our total calories, 13 grams of fat, which is 21%, and 64 grams of protein, which is 45% our total calories, adding up to 595 calories total. Tip sirloin steak is one of the leanest cuts you can get, and at 7 ounces, although still containing some fat, will be a lot leaner than any other cut. All right, let's take a look at the portion size. Now, if I got this at a restaurant, I would definitely be happy. Nice big piece of steak. But let's see what the other plates look like. Now, if you can guess by the mountain of potatoes on the second plate, this is gonna be the high carb plate. With 1 ounce of sour cream, 16 ounces of potatoes, and 2.5 ounces of steak. That comes out to being 97 grams of carbs, which is 65% of the total calories, 8 grams of fat, which is 13%, and 33 grams of protein for 22% of the total calories, which is 598 calories. This plate looks like a lot of food, but it barely has any protein. By the way, 16 ounces is 1 pound, so that's 1 pound of potatoes on that plate. And imagine if these were made differently, like made into French fries or deep fried. You basically turn this dish into the unhealthiest one with the highest amounts of fat and carb. But now introducing our third plate, which is the one high in fats, we have 5.25 ounces of sour cream, 6 ounces of potato, and 3 ounces of steak. That comes out to being 45 grams of carbs, which is 31% the total calories, 29 grams of fat, which is 45% the total calories, and 34 grams of protein, which is 24%, totaling 599 calories. This plate high in fat is basically just sour cream. This is definitely not one I'd go for myself, as it doesn't even look like it tastes good, to be honest. All right, taking a look at this. If I got this at the restaurant, I'm definitely returning it. You definitely can't convince me that these are the same, even though they are, because I calculated them. It's crazy to like visually understand this. That's why when people are always saying, oh, just calories in and calories out, that's not necessarily true. There's way more to it, as you're clearly learning in today's video. And now moving on to the last and final meal. Cheese, pasta, and ground turkey meatballs. I can eat this right now. The portions on our first plate is looking looking real good to me. This is gonna be our high protein plate with a 1/4 ounce of cheese, 5 ounces of pasta, and 9 ounces of turkey meatballs, which add up to 43 grams of carbs, 29% the total calories, 21 grams of fat, which is 32%, and 59 grams of protein for 39% of the total calories, which is 608 calories for this plate. I've actually made nutrition videos on low calorie, high protein meals in the past, and pasta and meatballs has been one of those meals. And of course, the macro portions were closer to the ones on this plate and not what's coming up next. Real quick, take a look at this plate. This is the most amount of cheese you should actually be putting on a dish. A lot of times when you're just going crazy with the cheese, you are adding in so much amounts of fat and making the meal completely unhealthy. Our second plate is high carb with a 1/4 ounce of cheese, 10 ounces of pasta, and 3.25 ounces of turkey meatballs. That adds up to 87 grams of carbs, which is 59% the total calories, 11 grams of fat, which is 17%, and 35 grams of protein for 24% of the total calories, which is 600 calories exact for this plate. At 35 grams of protein, this meal wouldn't be ideal for me, but if you're an endurance athlete doing over 90 minutes of cardio, this may be a good option for you. Personally, for me, if it came down to both of these plates, even though they're the same 600 calories, I would definitely choose this one. To be honest, a lot of times it's really hard to hit our protein goals for the day, so I'm always gonna prioritize protein before anything else. And once I've hit my protein goals for the day, then I can use the rest of my calories on carbs and then fats. And the reason why I prioritize protein the most is because you need to ensure that you're fueling your muscles with enough protein each day to ensure muscle growth and achieve your maximum potential. And the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn each day just by living, because muscle is more metabolic than fat. Now moving on to our third dish, high in fat. We have 3.7 ounces of cheese, 3.25 ounces of pasta, and 2 ounces of meatballs, which is 30 grams of carbs, 20% of the total calories, 35 grams of fat, which is 53% of the total calories, and 41 grams of protein, which is more grams in fat, but only 27% of the total calories, totaling 605 calories for this plate. Now, I don't know who's eating this much cheese, but clearly that's where the majority of the calories are coming from. And that's another takeaway from this video. Whenever you're serving yourself a food that is fat-based, make sure you're giving yourself a way smaller portion, because chances are it's a lot more calories than you really think it is. Now take a look at these plates. Each one 600 calories, but the volume and the visual is completely different. Look at how much pasta this is. Just a couple meatballs, and then look at how much cheese this is. This is a lot less food than both of these, but still the same amount of calories. So in conclusion, we know calorie intake will determine your weight, but your macros are also just as important, as they will affect your hunger levels, metabolic rate, and hormonal balance. Fats are gonna help you feel full and are also essential for hormone production. Fats also help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins and nutrients, which can increase testosterone, a hormone that plays a huge role in muscle growth. Carbohydrates are your body's main primary source of energy, which also plays a role in supporting muscle growth. Carbs can also be a source of fiber, which can aid in digestive health. And of course, protein is critical for building and repairing muscles, as it's been shown that not getting enough protein can even lead to muscle loss. But with all the benefits of these macros, like with most things, moderation is key. Too much fats in your diet can lead to raising bad cholesterol in your blood, which can cause heart disease or stroke. Excess carbs in your diet can place a large metabolic load on your body, raising your blood sugar levels, which can also lead to heart disease and poor metabolic health. And too much protein in your diet can increase the risks of kidney stones and lead to kidney issues, as well as heart health problems, especially if the protein is coming from red or processed meats high in saturated fats. Calorie management will get you the weight you want, but if you want to ensure you have a healthy, lean, muscular, and strong body, you also need to watch your macros and have a good training program. And if you need a workout plan and want to do the same workouts I did to achieve my physique, download the Heria Pro app in the Apple Store or Google Play Store right now. It's like having me as a personal trainer right in your pocket. And like always, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you want to see in the next video. If there's something about nutrition or even working out that we haven't already covered and you would like the answer to, that's going to be the next video we're going to make. Just let us know down below. Our goal is always to get you in the best shape of your life. So subscribe if you haven't already with bell notifications on. I post every single Tuesday on this channel at 11 a.m. USA Eastern Time. So I'll see you then. But in the meantime, check out this other video that's also going to have you in the best shape of your life, or come work out with me right on the Heria Pro app, and I'll see you there. Mad love. Peace out, baby. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video. Factor provides fuel for my body and my workouts, helping me build lean muscle and keeping me shredded, and has been my go-to for all my meals this week: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, making it easy to meet my dietary needs and staying on point with my macros while on the go. This is going to save me so much time, as I won't have to go grocery shopping or even need to cook, and I can spend more time training hard. Now, of course, you can always pop one of these in the microwave, but I prefer to put them in the oven. And honestly, after 1 week of eating with Factor, I'm feeling great, looking great, and I'm I'm loving how I can get chef-crafted meals that are fresh and never frozen in under 2 minutes. That's better than some restaurants here in Miami. I'm gonna give it a 5 stars out of 5. Oh my gosh, look at this broccoli cooked to perfection. You have to give this a try. And if you want to try Factor for yourself, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code ChrisHeria50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. They also offer a lot of dietary options, so whether you want to eat keto, calorie smart, or vegan, they're gonna have something for you. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video and sponsoring these gains, baby.